Good morning, students. Myself, Dr. Vijender Singh Tawar, Associate Professor in English. Presently, I have been posted at Government College, Buda. In the series of video lectures, which is being prepared by me for the students of English literature, this lecture is meant for the students of BA Part First, subject naturally English literature, paper first, and name of the poem is On His Blindness. In this video, we are talking about or discussing as the question, essay type question, or we can say the critical appreciation of the poem On His Blindness. Let us start as natural it is that we begin with the introduction of the poet. And the poet, as we know, is John Milton. John Milton was born in 1608 and died in 1674. He is one of the most essential and famous poet in English language. Essential in the sense that if you have not read it, you will be deprived of the greater part of the English literature. He has carved out a niche. This has made a permanent place for himself in English literature. He is considered the greatest English poet after Shakespeare. It is said that Milton will always be remembered as a great poet of England. And if England is to be represented in an international congress of poets, it will be by Shakespeare first and Milton next, which is so important we can understand. Milton is famous in the world for his famous epic entitled Paradise Lost. Paradise Lost is as famous as Ramayana and Mahabharata famous in India. It is a story of Saturn, God, and man, first man and first women, how they were created and how they had to leave their paradise, Eden Garden, and come on the earth. These kind of issues were discussed in this epic. And at the same time, that epic was written with a particular purpose. The particular purpose was to justify the ways of God to man. And same is the object of composing this poem On His Blindness. We will discuss it later on. John Milton was a voracious reader from his early childhood. His friends, relatives used to advise him not to study too much, but he did not care for their advice. The result was his eyesight became weak, and at the age of 44, he became totally blind. During the Civil War, he sided the Cromwell party and he enjoyed for 12 years. But after 1660, he was put into the prison, and there he used to speak and his daughter used to write. In that way, most of his greatest works came into existence. His poetic style is grand and majestic, stately. In him, there is a wonderful union of intellectual power and the creative power. The poem entitled On His Blindness is a sonnet, and it is a Petrarchan sonnet, and it is one of the most famous sonnets in English language. It was written about 1652, the year Milton became totally or completely blind. As I told you about Paradise Lost, Milton also wrote this sonnet with the same object to justify the ways of God to man. Through this poem, he tells us that whatever God does, he does right. God's will is supreme and the ways are just. We should have complete trust in God. God has given everyone some light responsibilities in this world, and we must perform these duties without grumbling, without making any complaint. At the same time, the poet has expressed his beliefs and doubts about God's justice in a simple and natural language. The poem is highly autobiographical in character. This poem and on his 23rd birthday, when these two poems are regarded as inseparable part of Milton's biography. It brings out the sorrows and agonies of the poet. The poet is very sad and disappointed because he became blind even before he has barely completed half of his journey of his life on the earth. He finds himself alone in this dark and wide world. He feels helpless. Means he is disappointed, sad at his blindness. God has given him a talent for writing poetry. But due to his blindness, this talent is lying useless with him. In a different sense, the poet cannot use his talent because of his blindness. The poet feels that it is just like death for him to hide this talent. He wants to serve God with this gift. Gift is talent, that is, he wants to compose poems in praise of God, but he is unable to do because of his blindness. In other words, the poet is willing to use his talent, but he can't use it for want of eyesight. He thinks that after his death, God will demand an account of his work. God will ask to present an account of his achievements and non-achievements with regard to his talent. So doubts and fears as to God's justice haunt his mind. He has to present a true account of his genius and his creation as a poet on the day of judgment. It is believed that on the day of judgment, God will ask that Milton was given this talent and he was supposed to compose poems, what he did. He fears that God will rebuke him for inaction and failure. He starts grumbling against God. A question torments his mind. He asks a question: doth God eject tea labor, light denied? I mean, what the poet wants to know is that whether God has the right to expect from a blind man work that can only be done by a man with perfect eyesight. But soon the conscience of the poet feels that it is a foolish question. It tells him that God does not need man's work, nor does he want the return of his own gifts. What God expects from a man is a complete submission to his will and justice. That is, man should show his complete trust in God. He should not put a question against God's any doing. God is like a great king. Thousands of angels are running over land and ocean or sea in order to carry out his orders. But some angels do not work. They stand near his throne and wait for his orders. They are also ready to carry out the orders of God. Readiness to do some work is as good as actually doing it. The poet realizes that those who have complete faith in the way of God are as good those who actually serving him. Thus, standing and waiting is equivalent to actual services. Thus, his problem that God will chide him on his return for not making any use of the talent is solved. What is the meaning is that if the person is willing to do in the service of God, it is enough. If God will really want, he will provide an actual service. Otherwise, some complete submission to God's will is enough to serve him. Now the critical comments. First of all, form of the poem. In composing sonnets, Milton adopted Petrarchan model rather than Shakespearean one. The poem is modeled on the Petrarchan pattern of Italian sonnets with its usual division into octave consists of 8 lines and sestet of 6 lines. The problem is stated in the octave and while its solution is contained in the sestet. Now rhythm. The poem is a Petrarchan sonnet. It follows the traditional rhyme scheme of an Italian sonnet. Italian means Petrarchan sonnet. The rhyme scheme of the sonnet is ABBA, ABBA, CDE, CDE. The 3 rhymes in the sestet, namely C, D, and E, are arranged in such a way that they hold all the 6 lines together. Now meter. The sonnet bears witness to Milton's perfect mastery of meter and style. The poem is composed in iambic pentameter. As the name shows, each line has 10 syllables, making up 5 iambic, means unstressed, stressed feet, with, of course, numerous modulations. For examples, when I consider how my life is spent. Now, grammatical structure. The poem provides a striking example in terms of its grammatical structure. The poem is made up of 3 sentences only. The whole poem of 14 lines actually consists of only 3 sentences. Milton has not interrupted the normal, almost prose syntax throughout, except in line 2, the dark world and wide instead of dark and wide world. And in line 7, light denied instead of when light is denied to me. In these exceptions, the syntactic deviation, that is an uncommon structure or usage, and compression, that is ellipsis or omission of some structural elements, help to focus attention on the fact of the poet's blindness to compose a poem of 14 lines without upsetting much ordinary syntax, and also weave into it impressive harmonious patterns of rhyme, is indeed a remarkable achievement in poetic art. Now, diction, that is words vocabulary. The poem displays Milton's command over language and his felicity of phrasing. He has said what he had to say in the fewest possible words. The language used by the poet is simple and easy to understand. Moreover, the poet has expressed his views in a highly suggestive language and in a natural manner. There are no classical allusions, that is references, that make Milton's poetry difficult to understand. It is a natural and straightforward expression of thought in equally natural language. Very important, autobiographical poem. The poem is highly autobiographical in character. It was composed immediately after the poet had become blind. It expresses the feelings of the poet as a blind man. It depicts the state of confusion and doubt in the mind of the poet and the final solution of it. Religious faith. The poem brings before us the religious faith of the poet. Milton had complete faith in God. He became blind at the age of 44. At first, he felt sad and grumbled against God. Grumbled is complained against God. But soon he found that God was just. He realized that those who have complete faith in God are his best servants. Didactic poem. The poem is didactic in character as it shows how God can be served in the best manner. It shows a new path to the confused and suffering humanity that is groping in the dark. It teaches us that the best service to God is complete loyalty in Him. The moral of the poem is expressed in the last line of the poem as he says, they also serve who only stand and wait. Now conclusion. In conclusion, it may be said that the poem can be divided into two parts. In the first part of the poem, the poet expresses his sadness at the loss of his eyesight. He foolishly asks himself whether God has the right to expect work from him, although he has made him blind. This part of the poem reflects poet's mood of sadness and murmuring. In the second part of the poem, the mood is that of consolation. The poet's inner faith consoles him and stops his murmur. The poem teaches us that we should have complete faith in the ways of God. The poet has expressed this idea through his personal experience in a nutshell. The poem is a masterpiece of a sonnet in terms of its meanings, style, and structure, as well as word music. The poem, within its short span, opens up a beautiful little window on the scope and power of Milton's poetic genius and his mastery of poetic art. In a word, we can say what the poet wants to say, he has stated in a masterly manner. Thank you very much.